Brandon Nimmo has been hitting. Jeff McNeil had 3 hits last night, and everybody else kind of struggling right now. Another day off for Eduardo Escobar, who has not yet gotten on track, so Luis Guillorme will get the start at third base. Daniel Vogelbach, the former Brewer, in there against his former team and his former teammate Corbin Burnes, who is the ace of the Milwaukee staff. But otherwise, he had another good year. Grounded toward the hole. Nice smothering stop by Luke Voigt. And that's how the Brewers get the first out of the game. Luke Voigt, not known as a nimble fielder, able to make that play in the hole. And 5 for 9 to start this season. 1 for 13 since. And he's had plenty of company. And now he gets drilled by a pitch. So Marte, who had his season curtailed last year when he got hit by a pitch on his hand in September, takes one in the upper arm. Marte at first with 1 out. He's running, and no throw by Contreras. I didn't think Marte had that good a jump, but Contreras and Lindor lines one the other way. That's a base hit, and the Mets will finally score a run in Milwaukee. Marte trots home. Lindor into second base, takes a turn there with an RBI double. Second RBI of the season for Lindor, and the Mets snap a 20-inning scoreless streak. They lead 1-0. And Alonso foul tips it for strike 3. So Burnes didn't throw a single cutter in that sequence against Alonso. And the curveball misses for ball 4. And so Vogelbach draws a walk. Interesting choice by Burnes to throw the 3-2 curve with McNeil coming up. And McNeil flies one out to left, and Yelich gives ground and makes the catch to retire the side. Lindor's RBI double gets the Mets off to a good start. David Peterson at the mound when we come back. The Brewers have scored 19 runs in the first 2 games of this series, and David Peterson will try and hold them down.
And there's your Toyota numbers for David in his first start. Gave up a lot of hits. Had some really sparkling plays behind him that kind of saved him.
And Brasso lines one, caught by Guillorme. Well, Luis Guillorme, a vacuum whenever he's in the field. Able to dive and catch that line drive for the first out. And Adames takes a walk. So Peterson, who walked only 1 in his first start, walks the second batter he faces. Not going. Yelich foul tips it for strike 3, and that's the second out.
Right down the pipe.
2-2 to Contreras, and the breaking ball dribbled out to the mound. Peterson turns and fires. Side retired. A walk in, 1 left after 1-0 New York. And Canada takes a curveball for strike 3 called, and Burnes got his second strikeout of the day. I mean, some pitchers do, but these days it's more about fast twitch rather than slow twitch. Miller throws out Guillorme. 1-2-3 for Burnes. And Voigt goes down swinging, and Peterson's got a strikeout to start the second.
Will be made as the season goes along.
Ball 4 to Anderson. Second walk for Peterson. Well, they've already made some.
Yes.
Spring training. There were 5 different.
Maybe.
Breaking ball drilled down the right field line. That's going to go all the way back to the wall. Anderson digging for third. Marte gets 2, and they'll hold Anderson at third base. In at second with a double is Jesse Winker. And Peterson throws a fastball, and Miller hits it past Lindor into left field, and that'll tie up the game. Anderson's in to score. And Miller wasting no time, hitting it past the drawn-in infield, and the Brewers get even 1-1. The rookie outfielder's 3 for 6 in this series, and he slugs one out to right. Marte goes back to the wall, and it's out of here. Joey Wiemer with his first major league home run, an opposite field 3-run shot, and the Brewers are at it again. It's 4-1 Milwaukee. Two coming, and Brasso swings and misses the slider, and he's down on strikes. Third strikeout for Peterson, 2 out of the inning. And Adames draws a walk. Second of the inning and the third of the game for Peterson. And Peterson picks him off Adames. The throw to second, and Lindor puts the tag to end the inning. 1-3-6 on the caught stealing, but it's a 4-run inning for the Brewers. They lead 4-1. And Burnes strikes him out with a curveball. Third strikeout for Corbin Burnes, who led the National League in strikeouts last year. 6 Stadium in Seattle. Fly ball shallow right. Coming on is Anderson. He won't get there. It bounces in for a base hit. Marte trying for two. Anderson's throw, close play, but he beat it. Marte headfirst sliding for a double. Well, Keith mentioned it earlier. You don't lose anything playing Anderson at right because he has that cannon of an arm. That's ripped to right field by Lindor, and that's down for a base hit, and that'll bring in Marte. Lindor's second RBI of the day, and the Mets slice the Brewers' lead to 4-2. So Francisco Lindor, a double to left, now a single to right. He's driven in both Met runs. And Pete golfs one in the air to right field. It's deep. Back goes Anderson in the warning track at the wall. It's out of here. Pete Alonso ties the game with an opposite field 2-run homer. Alonso's second home run of the year, and it's 4-4 in the third. Now, Keith mentioned in the open that the Mets needed for Lindor and Alonso to get going, and they both have done that. They've combined to drive in all 4 Met runs to get this game even. Grounded down to first, another chance for Voit, and he makes the flip to Burnes to retire the side. But Pete Alonso's 2-run homer ties the game. It's 4-4 in the third. And a swing and a miss at another slider, and Peterson's got his 4th strikeout. Second time he's gotten Yelich. As a 4-pitch walk to Contreras, the 4th walk given up by Peterson. So he's walked 4, struck out 4. I'd also mention about the Marlins. That's lined to left center by Voit, and that's down for a base hit. Contreras pulls in at second, and so the Brewers have 2 men on. It's the 4th hit against Peterson. 3-2 to Anderson with 2 on. And he lifts this one into shallow right field. And Marte waiting for it. Contreras tagging at second, but he's going nowhere. As Marte airmails the cutoff man, but no harm done. 2 out. And Winker lines one right to Lindor. Peterson had to go down to avoid being struck by that ball, but Lindor was playing perfectly behind the bag, and that ends the inning. That pull past the glove of Voit, just foul. That ball just hooked foul. And the Mets might want to challenge this call. That ball was behind the first base umpire, which makes it a challengeable play. And the umpires are going to confer before the Mets even challenge.
How can you miss that call? How can you miss?
I mean, that's not even close.
Who's
then
that?
the question is, would Narvaez have gotten a double out of it had they called it fair?
Sean,
but, I mean, that wasn't even close to being a foul ball.
What is he doing? Sean, he needs to get those sunglasses from the kid. I mean, come on. That's a brutal call.
Well, I think they're going to overturn it. The question is, where do you place the runner? Would Narvaez be at second base had he made the correct call? And I think that's a legitimate point of contention.
It's got to be a double. Come on, it's down the line.
Let's see. You can challenge for placement of runners, but it doesn't appear as though Buck is going to make that challenge. He argued his case, but they'll leave Narvaez at first base. And Guillorme bounces one to the right side. Miller is going to think twice and throw to first. He had notion about trying to go after Narvaez, who doesn't move all that swiftly, and opted to take the sure out. So Burnes going to territory not often seen by Milwaukee. Handled short by Adames. He throws out Nimmo, and that retires the side. A hit and 1 left, still tied at 4. And Miller rolls one down to first. Alonso playing the spinner and gets it to Peterson just in time to retire Miller 1 away. And we check in with Steve.
One time at Citi Field when the grass was brand new, but nowhere else.
Like Brasso drills one into left field, cut off by Canna. Brasso slams on the brakes. Nice play by Canna to cut that ball off and hold Brasso to a 2-out single. Brasso gets set to run. 3-2 coming to Adames. And he struck him out with a changeup. Good pitch by Peterson for his 5th strikeout, and he puts up a 0 in the bottom of the 4th. Still 4-4. And he rifles one to center field. Cutting across is Wiemer to make a terrific diving catch. Well, Marte scorched that ball, and Joey Wiemer showing off the wheels and making the headlong backhand catch for the first out. And Lindor lines one down the line for his 3rd hit of the day. This one will go back to the wall. And Lindor pulls in at second base with his 2nd double of the game. He's 3 for 3. 2-2 to Alonso. And he drives one deep to left center field. Back in the gap goes Weimer, looking up, and it's out of here! Pete Alonso with his second home run of the day! A 2-run shot to put the Mets in front. Alonso powers one to left center. His third home run of the year, his second in 2 at-bats today, and it's 6-4 New York. 3-2 to Vogelbach, and it's outside ball 4, so Vogelbach walks for the second time, and Burnes' troubles continue. And that's going to be all for Corbin Burnes. And now the left-hander Hobie Milner comes in for a second straight day. Worked an inning last night. Comes in to face Jeff McNeil with Vogelbach at first and 1 out. Grounded down to first. Voit gets the out at second. The relay to first is in time. First base umpire Sean Barber, who got burned on a call earlier, waited to make the call. Let's see if the Mets challenge it. They're going to hold it. And no challenge. Struck out in both of his at-bats, but he's up in the count 3-1 this time, and he walks. And that'll put the leadoff man on, and that'll be the end of the line for Peterson. So Buck decided to go one more batter with Peterson to get the lefty. That didn't work out. And the Brewers will get the tying run to the plate with William Contreras, and Drew Smith will come in to face him. 6-4 New York in the 5th. Yelich runs again. Contreras flies one out to right center. Fairly well hit. Back on the warning track goes Marte. He'll have room to make the catch. And Yelich jogs back to first. Voit lines it past the glove of Lindor into left center for a base hit. Yelich around second. He'll go to third. Voit holds at first with a sharp single. And the Brewers have the tying runs on base with 1 out. 3-2 not going, and it's in there. Strike 3 call. Anderson caught looking for a big second out. 1-2 coming. Voit runs. The pitch is high. No throw, and Voit steals second base. That's a rarity.
Wow.
I was surprised Narvaez didn't throw it, but maybe he was just shocked. 3-2 coming to Winker. And it's lined toward the gap in right center field. That's going to be up the alley, and that's going to tie the game. Yelich is in. Voit right behind him. Jesse Winker with his second double of the day, a 2-run double to tie the game 6-6 in the 5th. Winker at second with 2 down. 3-2 coming to Turang. He got him looking. Fastball right down the middle, and Turang took it for strike 3. Brewers get even on Winker's 2-run double at 6-6 after 5. And Narvaez goes down swinging against the lefty. Milner, whose fastball tops out about 87 miles an hour. And the slider hit on the ground. Another play for the second baseman. Turang throws out Guillorme, and Milner has himself a 1-2-3 inning, keeping the game tied at 6.
I got my phone ringer turned off. Someone's trying to it's like it's FaceTime audio, and I've got my phone ringer off, folks.
3 home runs in a row against Scherzer, and then the 2 in a row against Raley. He strikes out here. But yesterday, Anderson and Mitchell went back to back, and that's bounced down to third. Guillorme's got it, and that is the first 1-2-3 inning for a Met pitcher today. Curtis. Nice birthday outing, 6-6 after 6. Strzelecki coming off a terrific year last year and backing it up so far this season. Grounded toward the hole. Voit with another nice play from his knees, and he gets it to Strzelecki, who might have hurt himself stretching for the bag. And there's some concern about him. Voit remains down sitting on the ground, but I don't think the concern is with him. It's with Strzelecki, who reached out to touch first base and looked like he might have tweaked something.
Well, he might have turned his ankle on the side of the base. This is a fine play by Voit. Very nice on a tough hop.
3-2 coming. On the ground right at Turang. 3 ground balls, 3 outs for Strzelecki. And we head to the 7th inning stretch, tied at 6. And Yelich drives one out to left. Canna coming toward the line. And he's got it one away. And Contreras swinging 3-0, bangs one up the middle for a 1-out hit. So Contreras turned loose, not running, and Voit strikes out on the fastball from Curtis. 2 men down. Third strikeout for Curtis in relief. 2-1 coming. Anderson hits it toward the hole. That's going to sneak through. Oh, it hit the runner. Jeez. And so the out for the 3rd out of the inning. Contreras gets hit by the batted ball. Give Anderson credit for a hit. Give the put out to Alonso. And that's how the inning comes to an end. It was in the hole, but off the heel of Contreras for the third out. Matt Bush in to pitch in the 8th inning. Brewers bullpen has been perfect so far today. Milner for 5 outs and Strzelecki for 3. That's toward the hole. Nice play. Anderson throwing from his knees, and Voit with the stretch. He stayed in the bag for the out. Gorgeous play on both ends from Brian Anderson to Luke Voit, and they get Alonso one tough out. And he takes ball 4, so he's on base for the 3rd time. And Tim LaCastro will come in to run for him, carrying the go-ahead run. He takes off early. McNeil swings and misses. LaCastro steals the base easily. He got an enormous jump against Bush. And so LaCastro steals the base, and the Mets have the go-ahead run in scoring position.
Got a good pitch to steal on, too, and he...
Breaking ball swung and missed, and he gets McNeil for the 2nd out.
That very rare do you see McNeil look bad on a pitch.
Fastball hit in the air to right center. Drifting back is Weimer. He's there. Side retired. A walk in, 1 left to the bottom of the 8th, tied at 6. David Robertson will come on to pitch in the bottom of the 8th. This leads to an interesting question about what Buck plans to do from here. Winker pops one up into shallow center, and Nimmo coming on. 1 out. Because you would think that if Ottavino were available, that you'd use Ottavino again. And he taps this one back toward the mound. Robertson will field it. Side retired. So Robertson comes in and gets the 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the 8th. That sends us on to the 9th, tied at 6. WBC, and his velocity has been down a little bit start of the year. Last year 94 average fastball. This year so far 92. And he pops one up into shallow left center, shallow right center. And Mitchell comes over to call and makes the catch 1 out. In the head-to-head meetings with Adames and Yelich, another ground ball to the second baseman. That's 4 4-3s on Guillorme's scorecard, and Williams has the first 2 outs at the top of the 9th. Lifted to shallow left. Out goes the shortstop. Adames calling, and he makes the catch, and Williams has a 1-2-3 top of the 9th. We go to the bottom of the 9th, tied 6-6. And Ottavino in to pitch in the bottom of the 9th, trying to get this game to extra innings. 3-2 coming. Lifted in the air, right field. Marte back near the wall. It's out of here, and the Brewers sweep the series. Garrett Mitchell with a walk-off home run, his 3rd in 2 days. Leading off in the bottom of the 9th, and Milwaukee wins it 7-6, and they take all 3 games from the Mets. Hitting 9 home runs in the 3 games.